I want to talk about lanterns again. You down? I'm down. Let's do this. Today we're going to be talking about Indigo, also known as the Indigo tribe, better known as Compassion. So for like 99.999% of lantern cores, you are inducted into the core if you either exemplify the trait or are engulfed in the trait. So for example, green is willpower, so to get a green lantern ring you need to have an immense amount of willpower. Yellow is fear, so to get a yellow lantern ring you either need to be engulfed in fear or be able to inspire great fear. So you would assume to get inducted into the Indigo tribe, you need to have an immense amount of compassion. Yeah, Indigo don't work like that. People always think it works like that, but it don't work like that. The Indigo tribe is a punishment. See, the Indigo ring makes you feel nothing but compassion. It's classified as a parasite, and the ring is most effective on people that completely lack compassion. Basically brainwashes you. It's also ungodly powerful. It's their, compassion. They can use every other lantern's powers. Alright, so Fixation or Infatuation just made this huge 8-part series basically calling out Jason Todd for his hypocrisy. Go watch her videos, they're great. Because in the New 52, instead of having his dad be this abusive shithole who went to prison and died there, made him kind of a shithole who was still kind of a dick, but he loved his family and the Penguin framed him, so he ended up going to prison, but he was still a criminal, so that... Anyway, the critique is that Jason just fucking murdering every criminal he comes across morally makes him a hypocrite, because now he's doing the same thing the Penguin did to him to 1,000 other families, which... Yeah, she's got a point. And here's the thing. This is why I like Jason's plan when he first came on the scene a lot more. Jason's initial plan when he came back was, instead of just going around killing criminals, he basically became the kingpin. Okay, he did the duffel bag full of lieutenant heads thing, but the literal next thing he said was, "That'll happen to you if you don't work for me." He only killed people when they stepped out of line. His solution to crime was be in charge, because then you make the rules. This is part 2, you know what to do if you're not supposed to be here. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the direction that Jason Todd has gone in since basically the New 52. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he shouldn't be part of the Bat family. I absolutely don't think we should go back to the go-go boots and pill helmet costume. But Jason's original plan was literally control crime. Not kill it, it doesn't need to be killed. Get a very top-down view of it. Crime will always exist. Batman's battle is intentionally never-ending. So his plan was to be a better Batman by literally controlling all crime. If only the crime that won't hurt people is allowed, then in Jason's mind, that's pretty fucking good. But now he's kind of transitioned to be like the Punisher, but not really? Because when they brought Jason Todd back, yeah, he was smarter than that. He didn't think that just killing criminals solved the problem. When he first came back, he was kind of a Lucifer figure. Fallen angel to show the hypocrisy of what he fell from. So long story short, yeah, Bree has a point. He's kind of a hypocrite now. You see, that's very simple. They wanted Red Hood to be more likable. And if he's just a fucking bad guy like he was pre-New 52, because, oh yeah, spoiler alert, before the New 52, Red Hood was just a straight villain. Like, the Bat family sent him to prison multiple times, where coincidentally a bunch of people that were locked up for really heinous crimes started committing massive amounts of suicide. Anyway, DC thought if he was just a straight villain like he was then, people wouldn't like him as much. Red Hood was a fan-favorite character. Everybody loved him. He was enough of a fan favorite that DC wanted to give him his own book. And with the New 52 event coming up, they saw the perfect opportunity. Only problem. Comics publishers 9 times out of 10 think if someone's gonna have their own book, they have to be a hero. You can't have a protagonist that's just a villain, because the publisher doesn't want to be seen as glorifying their actions. Just think of all of the villains that have slowly transitioned to anti-hero because they got more popular. Hell, just in Batman alone, Harley Quinn, Clayface, Catwoman. So they changed Jason's plan so that he'd be more of an anti-hero. Closest anti-hero they could find to Jason was the Punisher.
So he called nobody to help him?
Excuse the fact that I look like Batman stole my bones. I just woke up seconds ago. Also, please excuse all the things I'm doing in the background. I'm making coffee because sleepy. So while I can't talk to the fact that they mentioned that Superman was in the game, I must have missed that part. It's shown in Arkham City that Bats is fucking stubborn in that universe. Even more stubborn than he usually is, to be honest. In Arkham City alone, Barbara tells him to call Tim in multiple times, and he refuses because he's already on a mission that he says is more important. Even though Catwoman's ending shows that if Batman dies, everyone's fucked. So that universe's Batman is just dangerously stubborn. And that universe's Bat family, I think, knows that. Like, they know Bats isn't gonna call them in. Remember, Nightwing's in Gotham because of how dangerous the situation is. Same with Robin, he shows up outside of Batman's wishes. I think that universe's Bat family exists to help Batman because they know he won't ask for it.
Resembles New York while Gotham resembles more Boston.
I filmed this immediately after the last Stitch, hence sleepy, but now I have coffee. So, when DC was being created, like when the individual creators were creating the individual superheroes for it, they weren't really supposed to be a connected universe. Superman had nothing to do with Batman, who had nothing to do with Flash, who had nothing to do with Green Lantern, who had nothing to do with the Spectre. I mean, shit, if I remember correctly, Batman and Superman weren't even on DC's first big team. That was more populated by a bunch of Golden Age characters that people really liked. But anyway, when these heroes were being created, they were being created in the early 30s by either first or second generation immigrants. Most of them were concentrated on the East Coast. And what's the biggest metropolitan area on the East Coast that also is a hub for immigration? New York. So both Metropolis and Gotham are based off of New York. And when they made all of their characters interconnected, they had to kind of stuff them in the same area. Hence why New York, Gotham, Metropolis, and New Jersey all fit in that area. This question... Whew, this feels like you're asking a veteran, what was the war like? So, in universe, the New 52 was the Flash going back to save his mother. That fucked shit up royally and made Flashpoint. So he went back in time to stop himself from saving his mother. It should have set everything back to how it was. It didn't. It basically reset DC Comics. People's personalities were shifted, their origins were shifted a little bit, and DC got to tell brand new stories starting from number 1. Outside of the universe, so in our world, DC was losing readers and wanted to bring on new ones. They saw what Marvel did with their Ultimates line and basically said, yeah, we want that. They just decided to kind of put blinders on when they passed Ultimatum and just went, yeah, no, this is all good. They wanted to bring on new readers without alienating them with years and years of continuity and history for these characters. So if you reset all the books to number 1 and basically tell all their stories like they're brand new characters, nobody's going to worry about all that continuity. The problems came when they decided to change characters that people were already attached to. Form part 2. This is part 2. You know the drill. So I forgot to mention this in the first video, but the reason it's called The New 52 is because when DC relaunched its line, it released with 52 books. So like I said, the problems arose when DC decided to change pre-existing characters that people were already fans of. Biggest example that I did a 5-part series on is Lobo. They completely changed his character because they thought no one would care. And they did that to a lot of characters, as well as throwing out fan-favorite stories because it didn't fit their continuity. Now, the big example is Wally West. Don't chop my words, I love Wallace West. But every story that had Wally West in it beforehand was completely thrown out now. Because Wally wasn't an adult with children and his own storyline anymore. He was a teenager who hadn't gotten his powers yet. And the sad part is basically every line-wide event that's happened since the New 52 has been trying to undo the New 52. Convergence tried to bring in some fan-favorite characters. Rebirth tried to mix the continuities. Doomsday Clock tried to explain it away. Death Metal just said, who fucking cares?
What would the D&D characters of the Bat family be?
So, first of all, yes, you can call me Panda. And, second, thank you. Thank you for asking this question. So, in my humble opinion, D&D classes. Look, I'm sorry, alright? I didn't have very many nerd friends growing up. I don't know these things by heart. Alright, so after reading these, I think that every Bat family character probably has at least 2. Batman taught them all to prepare for everything, so obviously they're gonna have a main character and one that's a backup just in case that first one dies. Dick Grayson is probably a fighter for his main and then has a bard as his secondary. Just like, combat and fun. I would say that Jason Todd probably uses a barbarian for his primary and a fighter for his secondary, just because he's not that creative and he probably thought they were basically the same thing. Tim is definitely a rogue first and then a warlock second, because he's definitely talked to at least one extraplanar entity while he's in the depths of insomnia. Damien's a druid and a monk, like, come on. Adopting animals and physical perfection, what more could he ask for? That's my take. So I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I haven't fully read the series where they made him an anti-hero. But what I do know is for a considerable amount of time in DC Rebirth, Clayface was a member of the Bat family. In fact, him being a member of the Bat family was one of the reasons that Batwoman got removed from it. Please anyone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but here's how I think it went down. Basil Karlo broke out of Arkham Asylum because he wanted to see the final screening of the final film that he made before he was officially transformed into Clayface. Batman offered him a spot on the team because he knew that there was still the potential for good inside of Basil. Tired of his life as a supervillain, Basil said yes and actually operated with the Bat family for a while. During an attack on Gotham City by Hugo Strange, Clayface actually helped evacuate all of the most at-risk neighborhoods, saving countless lives. However, sadly, during this, Hugo Strange injected him with a serum that turned him into a giant raging kaiju. While he was on this mindless rampage, Batwoman made a decision to shoot him with a special bullet that she was given that would apparently dissolve and kill him. She did, and a rift formed in the Bat family over the morality of this decision, splitting the team up for a while. He got better though. stuff, don't worry. But I was thinking about this, y'all hear me out. So I already talked about the fact that when Alfred turned into a villain, he turned into some dude named the Outsider with like white skin that looked like stone. But here's the thing I didn't mention, nobody knew it was Alfred. Like, I just realized this. It was an actual mystery in the fucking comic of who is the Outsider. Alfred's bone structure didn't change, maybe his voice changed a little bit, but like appearance-wise, the only things that were changed were that his skin turned pale, there was some like rocky bumps, and I mean hell, his new 52 version doesn't even have those. And he lost his mustache. So that leaves me to believe that the only way that Batman and Robin can identify Alfred, their closest friend and Batman's fucking father figure, is by his fucking mustache. That shit just fell off and then all of a sudden, oh, who is this man? I think Alfred does that on purpose. He wears a fake mustache so he can just disappear into a crowd. It's like Master Kent's glasses, I learned it at MI6. I don't think it's too much of a stretch for us to all agree that the Joker is a bad person, right? Like, I would think it's pretty fucking common knowledge that the Joker's a bad guy. If any villain is deserving of the death sentence and absolutely none of your sympathy, it's Mr. J. But there is one thing that you have to commend him on. The man fucking hates, Original Flavor Hydra, J. Jonah Jameson Mustache Appreciation Club, 4 L's Dancing in a Circle, Spicy X Brigade. Yeah, he fucking hates them. Marvel and DC had a crossover, he teamed up with the Red Skull. But as soon as he found out that he was a part of the I Can't See But I'm Not Blind party, Joker went into kill mode faster than Barry Allen with a twisted T. In his words, he said, and I quote, "I may be a criminal lunatic, but I'm an American criminal lunatic." Needless to say, they weren't friends no more after that. So, in the comics and in TV shows, it's a running joke that the Joker does not fuck with the IRS. Mans is on top of his taxes. In his own words, I'm crazy enough to fight Batman, but the IRS? No, thank you. Now here's the thing. Do you know why that is? Let me tell you. If Batman catches Joker doing some villainous deed, on any of his schemes or after a murder spree or something like that, he can just plead insanity. Yes, he has super sanity, he's not actually insane, and even though he's done so much bad that the insanity plea just shouldn't work anymore, it can still be reasonably argued that he's not in his right mind. However, if he gets picked up for tax evasion, it's a lot harder of a sell. Wasn't in my right mind, that's why I didn't file that paperwork. Even though they're charging you with tax evasion, they can sentence you like they sentence all your other crimes. Think Al Capone, meaning if the Joker gets picked up for tax evasion, he can get the death sentence, and then the joke's over. I don't know, just a theory. Let me know yours.
I proudly present the Grey Lanterns. Our emotion? Apathy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Panda, it's 9 a.m. You got a class. What the fuck are you doing, man? Carry the 3. Just 1 second. It's 9 a.m. You got a class. Let's fucking go, man. Just hold on, all right? What the fuck are you doing? I'm checking something. What are you checking? Carry the 6. Yeah, all of them. I'm sorry? All of what? TikTok. All of TikTok tagged me in that video. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Yes, they did. Look at my numbers. Panda, that's a door. So it is. You need to sleep more, man. That's an indisputable fact. But Grey Lantern is a really good idea. No, yeah, that's badass as hell. Could you imagine all the anti-heroes who couldn't give less of a shit being added to it? Yeah, like, could you imagine the irony of Red Hood having a gray ring? Or like Catwoman, I'll save you, but only if I can be bothered. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Alright, you got fucking class, let's go. Oh shit, yeah. Fuck. You guys aren't gonna like this. I just want to start off with all opinions are subjective, my opinions are my own, your opinions are your own. Yes, I'm stalling, I don't want to say it. I don't like Titans, like, at all. I tried to watch it, I got like 2 episodes in, I didn't like it, and I don't think I'm gonna go back to it. The version of the characters that the writers have put on screen do not reflect the version of the characters that I have in my head. The show feels like reading comics written right after The Dark Knight Returns. All of the characters just ooze darkness. Beast Boy fucking eats a person. From what I saw, it's implied that Batman kills. Jason Todd snaps a lady's back over his knees while calling her a bitch. It feels, at least to me, that there's a fundamental misunderstanding in the writers of what makes these characters compelling. They seem to just take the dark parts, the sad parts, the tragic parts, and not any of the parts that make the characters so endearing. Again, I'm sorry, it's just my personal opinion. I don't know if we should, but we're absolutely fucking gonna. So at one point an alien race showed up on Earth called the Scrub. The Scrub wanted their greatest champion to fight Earth's greatest champion. And when the people of Earth went, no? The aliens just went, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Shoot a couple missiles. So for lack of a better term, they held the Earth at gunpoint and said, fight me. So of course, since they asked for Earth's greatest champion, Superman steps up to the plate. I will fight your greatest warrior. If I win, you call off the attack. However, Muhammad Ali stepped up behind him and went, but you're not Earth's greatest champion. You see, Ali said, you're an exile from a different planet. I'm an Earthling, and I'm Earth's greatest champion. So Ali and Kent had a preliminary boxing match under a red sun lamp to see who would win. And Ali beat Superman to a bloody fucking mass. Ali then beat the Scrub's greatest fighter to a bloody fucking mass. So because of that, to this day, Muhammad Ali is champion of the cosmos. So I touched on this once when I talked about comics' really weird and bad history representing black people, but this is just too fucking nonsensical not to bring up again. I want to talk about this. Starting off with, this is no longer canon, it was a bad idea, and the Silver Age was fucking wild. But Superman had a machine in the Fortress of Solitude that could turn people black. I'm not sure if it was just to turn people black. To be completely honest, I don't want to read the book to find out. This cover is just plenty enough for me. Just look at that subtitle. I'm not even... How am I even supposed to read that? Here's some of the highlights, because this one's a fucking doozy. Lois wants to get the real story of how black people are treated in Metropolis. So obviously mad scientist blackface is the only way to handle that. Superman dodges the fuck out of the question of if Lois Lane couldn't change back, would he still marry her? And my personal biggest what the fuck were you even thinking? Lois Lane shows a black activist the error of his ways and cures racism by doing blackface. Needless to say, we like to forget this ever happened. That, and also all of the rest of Batman. Like, sure, it might be an exaggeration, but Lego Batman is probably the most accurate Batman movie of all time. Don't get me wrong, I love Mask of the Phantasm, but it gave Joker an origin, and that's unexcusable. But let's list off all of the things that Lego Batman gets correct. Batman's self-aggrandizing hero complex. Dick Grayson being a plucky kid who just wants love. Alfred's fucking sass. All of those goddamn villains. Batman and Joker's dynamic. The essentials of Barbara Gordon's personality. The weird fixation that the comics have with putting Batgirl and Batman into a relationship. Batman at both times being the world's greatest detective and the biggest dumbass on the planet. The sheer amount of abs he has. Alfred's fucking sass. Batman's complete refusal to acknowledge the fact that there's an entire world of heroes outside of Gotham whenever he gets into a bind. Oh, and did I mention Alfred's fucking sass? Like, listen, in terms of comic book accuracy, it goes Batman the Animated Series, Lego Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Fight me. So there's like 1,000 Marvel questions in my drafts that I could be answering right now, but I'm over here drawing Batman for the first time in like a couple of months, so I'm in a fucking Batman kick. Let's answer this. I think Joker is a good Joker movie. However, I think it's a good Elseworlds Joker movie. In my opinion, that Joker doesn't have a Batman. That Joker stands for something else. He has his own story, his own motivations, his own entire mythos. He wasn't a man changed by one bad day, he was a man changed by a whole bad life. Plus, making him and Batman brothers makes the whole sexual aspect of their relationship kinda weird. So while I see the Joker movie as having a Joker, I don't see it as having the Joker. It seems to me like the Joker was a movie that the director wanted to make, but the only way he could make it is if he put a comic book guise over the top of it. Very little of the Joker movie is actually based in the DC Comics mythos. Which is totally fine, it's a good movie, I like the movie. But it does feel very purposely divorced from the comics. Okay, maybe let me rephrase that. I said the whole sexual element of their relationship, but I probably meant the whole romantic aspect of their relationship. I think I said sexual because a lot of the Joker's jokes kind of imply that. He kind of uses that to get under Batman's skin. Like, they both know that the Joker is in love with Batman, and Joker kind of uses the sex jokes as a punchline. They also hint to their relationship a lot at the end of Batman Endgame. Just look at the posing of the final fight of Batman Endgame. Like, come on. And even more on top of that, one of the bajillion reasons that Harley didn't go back to the Joker, other than him being an evil, death-worshipping, gaslighting, abusive dickhead, is that he's in love with Batman, and no one else. Also, depending on the writer, Joker's relationship with Batman hinges either from sexually attracted to romantically attracted. So yeah, sorry, that's my bad. I meant romantic aspect of their relationship. Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman. Don't get on me yet. He is by far the worst written Superman, but for physically playing the role, for being Superman, oh, he's fucking perfect. He's got the voice, the looks, that dorky fucking smile as Clark Kent. It's all great, I love it. And one of the reasons I love it so much is gonna be really fucking weird. They actually gave Superman a hairy chest. Like, I know, it's such a weirdly specific thing, but that's very comic accurate. Usually in most forms of media, it's pretty common for physically fit characters to be completely clean-shaven. They want to show off the musculature of a character. But ever since the Death of Superman comic was published, Supes has been traditionally drawn with a pretty hairy chest. And in the Henry Cavill performance, they stuck to that pretty fucking close. So not only is the dude built like Superman, has the comedic chops to play Superman. Watch Man from U.N.C.L.E., he's actually really good at comedy. Sounds like Superman. He's also weirdly hairy, like Superman. This is a response to @PastelYellow.
Pastel Yellow
That's
3,
what your name
you done
is? Anyway,
that.
she asked me a question, but I couldn't stitch the video, so this is the best you're getting. Her question was, what was Batman's contingencies for the Robins? Or just like the general rest of the Bat family. Now, while I haven't seen any of his contingencies in canon, except for the Marsupial Boy What Does the Chuckling shooting them with Uzis, I do have a theory. He knows their triggers. Like, think about it this way, they're all victims of trauma. Very intense trauma. So, as sad as it is, he probably knows all of the ways to mentally debilitate them. He'd honestly probably spray them all with a little bit of fear toxin before doing it too, just to make it really, really work. Just long enough so that he can get the upper hand in the fight. Poke at Dick's fear of eventually becoming him. Make Jason truly think he was replaceable. Take Tim back to the death of his father. Take Barbara back to the Killing Joke. She's pretty fucking sturdy, that might need a bit more fear toxin. Make Damian think he'll never live up to his name. I don't think he'd ever use them, but those are if he did. You see, that's the cool thing, Clark doesn't really have that secret third personality. Bruce does, Bruce absolutely does. I like the breakdown of Bruce's personality that Fixation or Infatuation did, where there's Batman, there's Bruce Wayne, and then there's Brucey Wayne. Batman's who he shows criminals, Brucey Wayne is what he shows the public, and Bruce Wayne is who he shows everybody in his life. Clark, on the other hand, he's a lot more simple. With the exception of... Sorry, I'm too white for the sun. With the exception of maybe one or two exaggerated features, Clark Kent is who Superman really is. Like, he puts on a strong exterior to play Superman, so that everybody will see him as this hopeful figure. But with the exception of maybe one or two exaggerated elements, Superman is Clark Kent. Mind, I'm trying to shoot an internet video. No? Okay. Alright, don't need these. I'm back to my home. Shadows. So to answer your question way more directly, Superman's parents know Clark Kent. One of the reasons that people don't think that Clark Kent and Superman are the same person is because Clark Kent is already a completely well-rounded, full person. At least that's my take. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Batman's workout schedule is fucking ridiculous and I want to talk about it. So while I might not currently look it, college has been a little bit rough on me, I actually really love lifting weights. Always been a part of my family, always been a part of my routine, it's just something I like to do. And reading Batman's workout schedule, why? Quick disclaimer before we start, don't do this, it will kill you. No, that's not a challenge, it's genuine concern, it will do damage. Let's get started. And just for reference, all of my information comes from the Batman World of the Dark Knight book, the encyclopedia thing. And this will probably be multiple parts, just to let you know. Alright, let's go. Monday, morning. 5-mile run, 1 hour upper body strength conditioning. Now, for anybody else, that's your workout. Congratulations, you're done. Yeah, that's a third of Batman's day. Let's continue. Midday, 1 hour circuit training session, 20 minutes punching bag. Killing that upper body harder than the Waynes. And his day ends with weapons training, 30 minutes swimming, power yoga, or Tai Chi. I'm sorry, but if something is called power yoga, you pick that every time. Hey, how you doing? This is part 2. If you're not supposed to be here, then get the fuck out of here. What the hell are you doing? Batman's workout schedule is fucking ridiculous, and I want to talk about it. Day 2, let's do this. So what's Batman's Tuesday like? Morning, 1 hour climbing wall, 30 minutes lower body strength conditioning. Bruce, you just spent the better part of 24 hours turning your upper body into the consistency of Jason Todd's bones after a date with the Joker. What in the fuck are you doing climbing a wall for an hour? Midday, 1 hour circuit training, 30 minutes punching bag. Because the 20 straight minutes of punching cowhide on Monday was for quitters and bitches. And he wraps up the day with no time limit given, just martial arts technical practice. Otherwise known as Find Bill the Henchman and Experiment. Moving on to Wednesday, let's make this quick. Starts the day off with another 5-mile run and 30 minutes on the punching bag. Again! Refer to previous bitches and quitters comment, I guess. His midday is 30 minute circuit training and 1 hour overall strength conditioning. Otherwise known as the sane man's hard fucking workout. And he wraps up his evening with a light sparring session if a partner is available, otherwise known as find a Robin and hit him. This is part 3. Stay if you want, but I'd rather you watch part 1 and 2. Batman's workout schedule is fucking ridiculous, and I want to talk about it. Day, Thursday, and Friday. Wait, what? Batman's schedule up to this point should probably leave his body somewhere near the consistency of Plastic Man on a summer's day. Thursday. Morning, 30 minutes jumping rope, 1 hour circuit training. I'm less concerned about the 30 minutes of jumping and more concerned about the what the fuck is in his circuit that it's in every day. Midday, 1 hour powerlifting, 30 minutes kettlebell training. Thursday's nickname is Nightfall, cause it leaves him fucking broken. And his evening ends with 1 hour punching bag, because apparently we have upgraded the 30 minutes of punching bag to the bitches and quitters category, as well as 30 minutes of a yoga session. However, this one is not a power yoga session like it was on Monday, so I don't fucking want it. Alright, Friday, speed round. Morning is a 5-mile run and 1 hour upper body strength conditioning. You just stole that from Monday, you uncreative bitch. His midday is 30 minutes circuit training and 1 hour of a heavy sparring session if a partner is available. Find Alfred, hit him. And his evening is 1 hour of swimming, yoga, or Tai Chi. I'll say it again! If it's not power yoga, I don't fucking want it. This is the final part of a series. If you haven't gone back and watched the other ones already, God please do. I need the engagement. Batman's workout schedule is fucking ridiculous and I want to talk about it. Day, the last ones. Normal people usually take weekends as rest days, but Batman isn't a normal people, he's a Batman. So let's see what Saturday holds. Morning, a 1 hour swim followed by 30 minutes of upper body strength conditioning. Batman's upper body is so strong at this point he could probably crush Mjolnir in between his pecs. Midday, 1 hour parkour training, 30 minute sparring session if a partner is available. Find Robin, climb a building, jump off of it, hit him. And he wraps up that evening with 1 hour of circuit training. Again, what the fuck is in that circuit? Sunday honestly is pretty chill in comparison to the rest of them. Only a morning and an evening exercise, you know, like a peasant. He starts his morning off with a 10-mile run followed by stretching. Usually you start with the stretching Bruce, but whatever. And his evening is technical training, e.g. target practice. Find henchman Bill, experiment with batarangs from a distance. That was fun. Long story short, Batman's built different. Let's talk weird comic book supervillains. One specifically. Vandal Savage is fucking weird, man. Anytime he's portrayed in media, they don't really focus on his origin, they just kind of say it and move past it. And it's because his origin is just kind of fucking... what? Vandal Savage was a literal caveman. Like, he's maybe 3 steps removed from a Neanderthal. But one day, an alien meteorite came crashing out of the sky, and Ooga Booga Vandal went...
glowy rock warm, must spoon glowy rock.
And he just kind of slept there all night. And when he woke up, he was an immortal genius. Motherfucker became a Machiavellian supervillain through osmosis. He then proceeded to either be the main side character, or the main character, or, you know, most of recorded history. He legit is the biblical Cain, as well as a little-known historical figure by the name of Genghis fucking Khan. Now he fights buff, half-clothed dudes in spandex. Bit of a downgrade if you ask me, but whatever. Month's almost over and I can't really think of a skit right now, so here's Panda's No Nuance November DC Headcanons edition. Jason Todd has an iPod that he fills with songs from Metallica or Slipknot, but he has a secret playlist that's full of pop songs, because he's a pop bitch and he listens to them while he fights. Oh, and the Red Hood helmet has headphones. Gordon knew that Batgirl was his daughter the second he heard of one of the 2 redheads in Gotham kicking the shit out of criminals in a Batman outfit. I don't care what anybody says, I refuse to acknowledge the 3 Jokers as canon. It's a well-drawn and well-written story, but the problem is that it breaks a lot of fundamental aspects of who the Joker is and how Batman interacts with him to me. Oh, and it's dumb as shit that Batman knew who the Joker was within a week of meeting him. Tim Drake for sure has a TikTok account, and he probably just used it to punk his brothers, and probably Bruce. Tim Drake went by Drake for a while, off of a dare from Connor. The Batboys mock Dick relentlessly for his time in Spiral. Oh, and Rick Grayson. Oh, and the Disco Wing outfit. They just mock Dick. Everyone who lives in Wayne Manor is so dangerous and so jumpy that it's not a very uncommon occurrence to go to Alfred for stitches after jump scaring one of the family. Everyone in the Bat family is at a really, really bad costume at some point, so now it's a pretty general unspoken rule that you're not allowed to mention it. And for reference, I'm talking New 52, Red Robin, Disco Wing, Red Hood with the Cape, Zernar, Batman, that sort of thing. Alfred has a secret stash of vodka somewhere in the manor from his military days. Everyone's known about it for years, and Jason's been trying to find it since he was a Robin. But to this day, Alfred's the only person to know its location and will ambiguously drop hints about it whenever he feels like it. It's a common joke around the house that if you're having trouble with your love life, join a team. You're inevitably going to end up fucking someone on there anyway. There are family meetings solely dedicated to what cover story they're going to tell the therapist this week. Like I said before, I got even more if you want them, let me know.